All right, have you ever heard of a soup that has a comeback story? I'm serious. Today, we're not just talking about a recipe. We're diving into the epic tale of sour cabbage and pork stomach soup. This is a story of redemption from start to finish.
To really get this soup, you have to understand this one amazing metaphor. Think about those classic martial arts movies, right? There's always that quiet, humble sweeper monk who looks like nothing special, but secretly, he's the most powerful master in the entire temple. Well, that's this soup. It might not look like much, but trust me, one sip and it is a total mind-blowing revelation.
So where did this hidden master even come from? Well, our story kicks off with two main characters who, let's just say, started out as total outcasts in the kitchen. See, this whole thing was born from pure necessity. In thrifty Hakka villages, the #1 rule was you do not waste anything, ever. So this amazing soup, it actually started as a clever way to use up the stuff that, honestly, nobody else really wanted.
And here they are, our two unlikely heroes. First up, you've got the pork stomach. We're talking unpopular offal, the kind of thing people thought was smelly and just a huge pain to clean. Then, on the other side, you've got the sour cabbage. This was basically leftover mustard greens from a massive harvest that they had to press under a rock just to save it. Neither of these were fancy. They were leftovers, pure and simple.
But then, someone had a moment of pure genius. They realized that these two outcasts could actually save each other. The sharp, sour cabbage could cut right through the fatty richness of the pork, and the oils from the pork could tame the intense sourness of the cabbage. It was a perfect match made in culinary heaven.
Okay, so let's zoom in on our first hero's redemption arc. Before the pork stomach can even think about becoming the star of the show, it has to go through this incredibly intense trial. A trial by, well, flour and salt, basically.
And I'm not talking about just a quick rinse. People call this a hell-level spa, and believe me, that is not an exaggeration. If you try to skip this step, the entire soup is going to have that dreaded pigsty smell. This spa treatment is what takes it from being an unwanted scrap to an absolute delicacy. It's that crucial.
So what does a hell-level SPA even look like? Well, first, it gets a flour massage. You rub it down with flour, and it acts like this powerful vacuum, just sucking up all the sticky, smelly stuff. Then comes the salt exfoliation, a good, coarse scrub to get rid of anything stubborn. And then, get this, a modern trick, the Cola Miracle. Yep, a can of cola. The carbonation actually helps clean and tenderize it. It's a wild transformation.
All right, hero number 1 is redeemed. But what about our other protagonist? The sour cabbage has, let's say, a very strong personality, and it needs a little bit of taming before it's ready for the spotlight.
Yeah, this cabbage can be super aggressive, way too salty, way too sour. So step 1 is what we'll call the calming bath. Just a simple soak in water to take the edge off. But then comes the real pro move, the dry fry warm-up. You toss it in a dry pan, no oil, and stir fry it. This pulls out extra moisture and unlocks this absolutely explosive, game-changing aroma. It's incredible.
Okay, both of our heroes have been transformed. They're ready. Now it's time for them to finally meet. This is the moment where the real magic happens, where two ingredients nobody wanted come together to create something absolutely legendary.
So, you might be wondering, what makes this pairing a grease-cutting god-tier teammate? I mean, why is this the perfect soup to have after a big, rich meal? What's the secret?
Well, the chemistry here is just fascinating. The acid from the sour cabbage just slices right through any richness or fat. Then the oils from the pork stomach balance it out so the cabbage isn't overwhelmingly sharp. But wait, there's a secret weapon. The hidden soul of this soup, it's white pepper. That spice gives it this deep, warming magic that just completes the whole thing. It's perfect.
And this soup is so much more than just its incredible flavor. It's packed with history, with folklore. It's a symbol.
Get this, in the past, this soup was actually known as boy-bearing god soup. Now, obviously there's no science to that, but it came from this old folk belief. The pork stomach is kind of shaped like a bag, right? So it became a symbol for fullness, for holding on to wealth, fortune, and, well, a big family. That's why it was a must-have at wedding feasts.
And this legend is still evolving today. Down in Malaysia and Singapore, you'll find versions with black pepper, giving it this awesome spicy kick, kind of like bak kut teh. A lot of restaurants will throw in pork ribs to make it meatier, or even clams for a little hint of seafood sweetness. And in Taiwan, a really popular twist is to add fresh bamboo shoots in the summer for this amazing, crisp, fragrant crunch. So, at the end of the day, making this soup is a journey.
Let's be honest, it is a pain to wash that stomach, and it takes time to cook. But this one quote just says it all. The moment you finally take that first sip, you'll know that every bit of that effort was absolutely worth it.
What an amazing story, right? A story of transformation, where two humble, forgotten ingredients come together to make something truly extraordinary. So, now that you've heard the epic tale, the only real question left is, are you ready to take on this delicious challenge yourself?